Good morning. This is Stephanie from Chifferobe at 132 Cherry Street in Black Mountain, North Carolina, Christmas Central. Hope you're enjoying the holiday season. I know I am. I just wanted to suggest a few things for last minute shopping. I know there are lots of people on your list who say, oh, don't buy me anything. I have everything I want. But you should probably get them something. Abby. That's my daughter. Here are some things that anybody would like to have, even if they already have so much stuff that they can't even move around in their home. First of all, I know I've shown you these when I started them. These are some antique Mexican bowls in which I have planted some amaryllis bulbs, and this one is already starting to go. Here's another one coming up. And you can see how beautiful this is. This would be a wonderful centerpiece on anybody's table after this bulb is gone. There are people who save these from year to year. I'm not good at that, but many people are. You could just take out the bulb and use the bowl. So there you go. It's a double whammy kind of gift. Also, I know I've shown you these before. These are paperwhites, my favorite Christmas flower, that are started in a very beautiful little ceramic mug made by Elizabeth Kirk, a local friend of mine. And I put a little pussy willow in here so when it gets a little bit bigger I can tie it up so it doesn't flop over. But this is a wonderful little thing. So it's all ready to go and it's a live gift which everyone appreciates. Now if you have somebody that you don't really want to spend even that much money on, here's some little things I made. I took these antique bottles and I wrapped wire around them so they can be hung up. And I put little cuttings. This is just a succulent that I put in there, and it's already beginning to root. You can leave it in this bottle, or you could take it out and plant it and start something else in this very same bottle. This is only $5, so that's a nice, easy gift for somebody you want to give something nice to, and you don't want to spend a lot of money. I have other plants in here that are available for sale. You know, this is just an herb, rosemary. I could put some paper around it, make it real pretty. It's only $8. So that's another quick and easy idea for your Christmas list. Now, one of the things I really enjoy in the wintertime, because I'm always cold, is hot tea. This weekend, I went to the Big Crafty downtown Asheville, and I met a new potter whose name is Kurt Sun Yun. And he and his wife are making pottery down in Asheville at Odyssey. And their work is very Asian in flavor and so beautiful and so simple and so thin and delicate, and yet not very expensive. For example, I have a series of tea bowls that they make that are so beautiful. It's just like paper thin ceramic. And these are only $15, so you could drink your tea and warm your hands on these tea bowls. So that's Kurt Sun Yun. Here is another fancier tea bowl he made. This is a really beautiful Japanese style tea bowl. This one is made out of porcelain and it weighs nothing. But I just love the pattern on it and the very, very thin walls. This one is only $30. Here's a third one by Kurt. I fell in love with these. These are little covered tea mugs. You can see it's got a little cover on it so your tea doesn't get cold. Fits right on top there. And then he put this kind of an interesting, it's not a handle, it's a place to rest your hand so you can warm your hand on this tea mug while you're drinking your tea. So these are a wonderful dark black color, which I really, really love. I have a whole series of teas that you can buy. These are only $10 a container, and they're really yummy. They're very fragrant. This is loose tea, so you can make this. This one is the Earl Grey macaron, and it's very fragrant and very delicious. I have several different flavors of this tea. At the same time, I have just a few of these left. These are from the Charleston Tea Plantation, which is down in Charleston, and it's the only organic tea plantation in the U.S. And these are tea bags if you don't want to deal with tea leaves. So I have several of these. And The same company that makes this tea makes these flavored sugars to add to your tea. This is a lemon sugar, and this is a lavender sugar. And they make your tea that much more special. Let me move these things out of the way. Here's a little antique teapot that you can use to steep your tea in, and then you put the leaves in there, hot water, use a little strainer, strain it out into the mug or into the teacup. So that's a sweet little thing. Now here's another, this one is by a local woman, Gwen Ottinger. This is another American made, well, both of these are American made, but this is a more chunky American style mug, but I love the colors on this. Gwen Ottinger makes these. And here's something very quirky for tea. I'm on a tea theme today. This is something made in Finland, and you can see the bottom has two angles. Inside, there's a removable strainer that just fits right in here. So what you do is, if you want to just make 1 cup of hot tea for yourself using tea leaves, you put the tea leaves in here, and then you set it down so it's leaning in that direction. Let me move this so you can see it. Leaning in that direction. So the water is covering the tea leaves and steeping the tea. Then when it's steeped to the level that you want it to be steeped to, you simply reverse the angle, and it's no longer steeping, but it's ready for you to drink. If you want to make another cup of tea, flip it back, pour some hot water in here, and it will be ready in just 2 or 3 minutes. So those are really interesting and wonderful. I've never seen anything before like these, but they're just darling. I have them in black and white. Now something else I wanted to show you from the Big Crafty. I met these artists there, and they're making these really lovely pendants with semi-precious stones. And what I love are the long chains, so they hang just simply, and you can actually layer these if you want to wear more than one. So these are just lovely. These are $38. Jerry Pope, a local friend and artist who's very creative, makes these little pocket altars for $10. They're just decorative, but they're very, very interesting and quirky. Everyone is different. It's an old matchbook, and he puts photos on the front and back, and then you pull it open by the ribbon, and there's a little diorama going on inside. So these are $10, and everybody in the world would love to get these. They're so fun and quirky. But when we get to the subject of fun and quirky, I have to mention martial arts. It's a couple from Marshall, M-A-R-S-H-A-L-L, and they call themselves martial arts, but they don't do martial arts. What they do is they wander around in the woods, find pieces of wood that speak to them, and then Jim, who's the creative wordsmith, comes up with some words that these pieces of wood speak to him, and then Alicia, his wife, decorates the pieces of wood on every surface. They came in here yesterday with a batch of these, and this one is so much fun. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like a little coffin-shaped box, but it's decorated on every surface. And it's got a whole story written on it. And then inside, voila, it's also decorated inside with this really interesting story. And here's what the story is. I copied it down because it's a little hard to read. Tolstoy's Count Karenin would churn in his grave to learn that the hypocrisy which he ultimately spurned in Russia had 150 years later crossed the Atlantic to multiply tenfold in the USA. So it's a pretty political one, but it's very, very quirky for the quirky person on your list. I have a bunch more of these smaller ones, pieces of wood with interesting sayings written on them. And then my friend Melissa Lewis brought in these quilted postcards that you can actually send in the mail. And these two are very social justice oriented. You can actually write on them. They're cloth and quilted, but you can write on the back, take them to your post office, to the counter. They cost 70 cents to mail. But these are really interesting. And then once a person gets it, they can keep it, frame it, whatever. So this one is relax, do good, create, love. This one, U.S. healthcare is based on the belief that someone is entitled to make a profit from your grandma's cancer. And then this one, never trust anyone who says they do not see color. This means to them, you are invisible. So for those political activists on your list, I've got lots of interesting things to show you. Well, come in. I'm just touching the surface of what I have to offer you. Come in, visit. I'll make you some tea, and we can talk about your Christmas list, and I can help you figure out what to get people that are hard to buy for. Hope you're doing well. Hope to see you soon. Take care.